back, I'm Tedward, and today we're in Michael's 1986 3.2 Carrera 911. Michael is an old friend of mine. He actually used to be my roommate for a few years, and he went from driving some pretty ratty old Mercedes into becoming the dream race car driver of California. Ooh, getting a little heat in these tires, starting to get a little bit of squirreliness. Woohoo! Michael's been doing a heck of a lot of track days, and it shows. He proves the point. Seat time is everything. So we're up here on Angeles Crest. We just went to GVBC, Good Vibes Breakfast Club. Met Mr. Magnus Walker, saw our friend Jay and his wife Nicole. Kind of doing the California dream out here, and now we're heading back down the mountain. I just felt that because you saw a 993 and you got on it harder. All right, now it's a G-body. It's a G-body. Just like this. Yoo-hoo! He's gonna pull off for you. NSX. Oh, that rub is very real. Got a new set of tires on this, kind of testing them out, but we're noticing that they are rubbing on the rear fenders. I think I still have some black remnants from the goo, because naturally I touched it. Why do I touch things? Yeah, I touched it too. That's so stupid. So we've been talking about how I should probably move out here for 3 months a year. Seems like the way to go.
I think you should. I think it's no questions asked. Tom, how long did it take to get out to the Stanley Road?
Like maybe 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
It takes me like 3 hours to get to a road that's literally 10% as good and 5% as long in Vermont.
I mean, I talk a lot of shit about Los Angeles, and there are a lot of cons, but in terms of car culture, accessibility to racetracks, and this in your backyard, it's hands down one of the best driving cities. Ironically, because we don't maintain our roads.
Well, the question is, like, would I die out here?
No. Why would you die?
Because I'd be doing this all day.
No. If you drive passenger with me, you might die.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
The car sounds amazing.
Hard. It's been a battle with the exhaust. As you know, we put SSIs on the GT3 Muffler box. I've been battling the resulting drone for about 6 months, but I finally got it to where I like it. And the car just needs to lose some weight. We still have I do.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
My apologies to the backdate brothers, but Jesus, we don't need it. We need a backdate as much as we need another RWB.
But I am looking to be easy here. One of your previous videos, you'd mentioned the rise of EVs and what that does for car culture, right?
Yeah.
And whether EVs are going to eliminate the driving enthusiast or fundamentally change car culture. And I think that's like worthy of a good discussion. But during that video, I was thinking of like one step further of autonomous vehicles and what that is going to do for the driving enthusiast. Because in not too many years, we're going to be sharing the road. I mean, we already are to some degree, like Tesla's autopilot, though we all have opinions about how autonomous that actually is. But we're going to be sharing the road with autonomous vehicles. And the success of those vehicles depend on other autonomous vehicles being on the road. So what does that say for the future of self-driving cars?
I agree, and it's depressing, but I think we're much closer to EV than autonomy, and I think autonomy is going to be a much larger battle. I don't, you know, as much as everyone likes to pretend like, oh, it's right here, it's on the cusp,
Right,
like we
not.
you know, Steve Wozniak will be the first to tell you there is no real such thing as AI.
Right.
And I don't know that I trust, I mean, I'm not going to get in an autonomous car for a very long time. I mean,
it's glorified cruise control. It's lane assist cruise control. The technology is primitive, and you have people really pushing it to its limits and unfortunately dying. But I guess I'm putting on my sci-fi hat for a moment, and I'm seeing a future where autonomous vehicles are successful insofar as most cars on the road are autonomous and they can communicate with one another. Because then it's predictable driving.
Yes.
And they can coordinate.
There's like a herd immunity of of autonomy.
Exactly. Wherein once you add the unpredictable human element, it kind of throws their success rate into the toilet because they have to be prepared for some asshole like me. Now, do you see a push at some point, it could be 15 years from now, to get self-driving cars off the road? And will there be a strong enough resistance, at least in the US, where it's like America and liberty, to push against that?
I'm not sure. I mean, I hope that doesn't happen. I mean, I think price obviously makes a big difference in that, because I feel like sometimes they want to push things and it's like, well, only the upper class can have it. We still have people driving like 90s Pontiacs in California. So,
Right.
And it's not because they're Pontiac enthusiasts.
Yeah.
It's because they can't afford anything more than a $400 car.
No, I think that's a great point. It's like, okay, yeah, you can outlaw self-driving cars, but then you therein have to provide people with self-driving cars.
I mean, we like to think that we're a small community, like, oh, there's not that many car enthusiasts, but the reality is we are out here, and there's enough of us that would push back.
Right.
Oh man, the chunk of rubber on the fenders. Wow.
How does, if you remember, you drove this car, I don't know,
3 years ago?
3 years ago, and it was a different car.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This car feels incredible. I mean,
So talk to me. I wanted to hear about it.
Okay, so I did drive the car on the way up the crest. I didn't record it just because, you know, it wasn't that. So I'm like, it's not even worth showing me drive this car like a little boy. I think the suspension feels so fresh. It's incredible. The steering rack is phenomenal because you put a 914 steering rack, which is faster than the typical G body. You know, we've got the 915 transmission, which I still have not completely harmonized with.
It's a tricky transmission.
You know, you've got a pause on third because that it's not even the 915. It's this particular synchro on this particular gearbox. But I just think the car feels so stable and safe. I feel like my car feels a lot more loose, like my rear end is a lot more like ready to dance. And that's why when I drive this car, I feel like I can push it harder, but at the same time, I'm always like a little reserved because I'm like, well, wait, when
are you going to learn the limit?
When's it going to happen?
Right.
And my car, it like just happens. So I don't know. It
so
drives.
Yours is more tail happy.
Yeah, this drives completely different to my car.
I would be interested to know what your alignment specs are.
Negative 2 point something in the front, negative 3 in the back, or 2.8 in the back.
So you have a lot more camber than I knew, and I know your tires, you have 9s in the back, so that's a 245 tire, right?
Yes.
So I have 225s.
Oh, wow.
So we're on narrower tires, but yeah, there must be something with maybe your sway bars or how that's set up.
Yeah, my sway bars are very aggressive.
Right, so that's probably why it's so tail happy.
This was excellent, man. Well, boys, that's a little taste of Angeles Crest. Fitting that we're slowed down by a Prius, but you know what? Yeah, he didn't pull off. Never mind, he's a monster! He's a monster! He does not respect the drive, so don't you forget to respect the drive. And I'll see you in the next one.